Welcome back again. This is another episode. So today we'll be looking at data types. Though we've not looked at scope, you can just read about it. Even though I'm going to explain more, talking about global scope, local scope. If you check the links I shared with you, I think I've explained about it there. And you can still pause the video to read about this. I don't want to spend much time on this. So let's go to data types. This is what we're going to be doing today. Data types. Data types. JavaScript has 5 primitive data types, which are string, number, boolean, null, and undefined, and one non-primitive data type, which is object. There's also another data type, which is array, but is a special form of object data type. Also, string, number, and boolean data types can also be expressed as object data type. More on this later. Okay. So we're going to look at these data types one after the other. So we're going to start with string, the string data type. So the string data type. A string is a collection of letters and symbols enclosed within quote mark. The quote mark can either be single or double. If you want to use double quote marks inside a string, you need to use single quote marks to enclose the string. And if you want to use an apostrophe in your string, you need to employ double quote marks to enclose string. Okay, so I'm going to explain what this means. I'll go to my text editor. This was the file we used the last time, and this was the JavaScript. So last time we did variable declaration. So we're just going to comment this out to start something new. I'll comment this. So what we want to look at is data types. Oh, how did you know I was about to do data types? Okay, so let's look at data types. So I said I'm going to be using let and const. I won't be using var again. So just take note of that. I've explained the differences between var, let, and const. So most times you just see me using let and const. I will not be using var. So let's look at this. Let name equals John. You look at this. Anything you have inside a quote, this is what a double quote, you can see a double quote. Anything you have inside a quote, either double quote or single quote, it is what? A string. You get that? It is a string. I'll just say using double quotes. Okay, so let's create another one. City. The city. This is what? What did I use there? I used single quote. Which is what? Let city equals Lagos. Let name equals John. You can see that? Okay. So anything you have inside the quote, be it a single quote or a double quote, it is a string. Take note of that. So let me put this here. String data type. So let's look at what we have here. I can say console dot. I prefer using table. As a console dot table. So I'm putting the name here and I'm putting the city. So let's see what we're going to get. I'll come here. I'll refresh. Always make sure you refresh the page. inspect, you go to the console. What is saying? City. Okay. And let's refresh again. City, name, John. City, Lagos. So these are string data types. So let's look at another type. Let me do this. I wanna say message. Exactly. So look at message now. This is another type of string. I'll show you. Is it my name is so there's something I want to show you before I use this template literals with you. Let me just do this. This AI is smart. Okay. So look at what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to display a message. So I'm creating a variable called message using let. So I'm saying let message equals. So I'm creating a string. You can see this is a double quote. My name is. Can you get that? My name is. Then I concatenated it with name. What did I concatenate it with? I concatenated with what? This variable name. Do you get that? So that okay, let me use first name, first underscore name. Okay. So there's a reason I'm using first underscore name because I don't want you to get confused. I don't want you to mix this name inside the string with the name I'm going to have here. So I just said let me change the name to first name so you don't get confused. So I'm writing what my name is what? Okay, let me do something so that you don't get confused. AI is making this very fast. It's making it too fast. Let's say John. Okay, I don't want us to rush. That is why I had to redo this part. Is it my let message equals my name is John and I live in Lagos. You can see how this is very simple. My name is John and I live in Lagos. So let's check the message here. You can see message. My name is John and I live in Lagos. Okay, that's good. So now instead of me using John here, I want to replace it with a variable name. So how am I going to do that? So now this John now, I want this John to be Lagbaja. So I don't want to use John again. I want to use Lagbaja, first name Lagbaja. But I don't want to alter this text. So do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to replace this name here with the first name that I have here. So the way I'm going to do that is there's something called concatenation. Okay, take note. There's something called what? Okay, it's already written here. Using concatenation. Concatenation means joining two words. No, joining two joining strings. Okay, so use concatenation to join strings together. Use what? Concatenation to join strings together. You can also use what? To join variable. You can join string. So it's like this. There's a concatenation. You can join what? Okay, it's the process of combining two or more strings together using the plus operator. Concatenation is the process of combining two or more strings together using the plus operator. You can also concatenate with a number. Yes, you can also concatenate with a number. Okay, but most time. Okay, so now I'm going to do this. I want to replace John with this variable name. So I'll copy this variable name, which is first name. I'll remove John. Okay, so I'm going to end this name here, concatenate. I'll come here. So my name is, then I'll concatenate. Then here also, I will concatenate. Can see what I'm doing? So in between these two concatenations, I'll put the variable name. So what am I doing? I've concatenated. My name is, you can see these two quotes is a string. So I'm adding it plus this concatenate plus what? The first name. Then plus, so this, okay, I will show you later. Plus, and I live in Lagos. So what is going to happen is it will be my name is Lagbaja and I live in Lagos. So let's come here, refresh. You can see saying what my name is Lagbaja and I live in Lagos. You can see Lagbaja and there's no space between Lagbaja and this and. Okay, so let's correct that. So to correct it, you come here, then you give it a space. You can see that my name is and I live in Lagos. So instead of me using just Lagos, I can replace it with a variable name. So let me just say, instead of Lagos, I'll say Oyo. So instead of saying Lagos, I can replace this Lagos with the variable name city. So what am I going to do again? I'm going to concatenate. Then I'm going to type city. So that's how you concatenate. So refresh. My name is Lagbaja and I live in Oyo. So the interesting thing about variable is that anything, once you change the value inside this variable, this will also change. Now this Lagbaja, let me change it to Tamedo. Then this Oyo, let me change it to Kwara. So you see that it's going to take effect here. So refresh. My name is Tamedo and I live in Kwara. So variable is going to store the content, then release it whenever it's needed. Okay. Then we used concatenation for this. So let's look at the second one. I used concatenation here. Why the second one? I'm using template literal. So this template literal use backtick. These are the most keyboards. Most keyboards have it at the top right corner. Okay, so check your top right corner is mostly there. So use a backtick. So take note, it's not the single quote or double quote. This is a backtick. So whenever you use a backtick, you don't need to use concatenation using plus. Okay. So most times I actually prefer the template literal whenever I'm using it with variables. So Template literal can make you instead of you concatenating, you put everything with the variable inside the template literal. So anytime you use the template literal, you want to use variable name, you have to put it inside the curly brace. Then you use dollar. So dollar curly brace, you now put the variable inside. So that's the same thing here. So I can call this first message. I'll call this one second message. Okay, so our first message, second message, you can see it's going to give us the same results, even though we use the two different methods. We use concatenation and we use template literal. So you can see my name is Tamedo and I live in Kwara. My name is Tamedo and I live in Kwara. Okay. So this was what we used then. A lot of time we use this concatenation, but with ECMAScript 6, we started using template literal, which is quite easy. It's easier to use and it makes your code looks better and clearer. So you see me using more of template literal. I will be using more of template literals. Okay, so that's okay. There's one more thing I need to show you. String data type. So let's have another one. I can say let's should it be okay? Let's say third message. Third message. Okay. I can say now. Let me say I'm using single quotes. This here I should come down. I can say my father's name is Tamedo. Yeah. So you can see what I'm saying. Look at this now. Okay, let me just use this. So look at this now. Let third message equals my father's name is Tamedo. You can see that this works fine. Let's check. This works fine. Third message. My father's name is Tamedo. So you have to take note of something. I'm using what? Double string. You can see I'm using double string. But inside the double string, I have my message, which is my father's name is Tamedo. Take note of this apostrophe. Take note of it. So let's say I decided to use single quote. So I'll just call this default message. So let's assume that I want to use single quotes instead of double quotes. You can see it's throwing up error. Even though first here we use double quotes, second one here we use single quotes, there was no problem because there was no apostrophe in the string. But right here we have what? Apostrophe in the string. So this is going to throw up an error. So let's say you are the type that you prefer using single quote. You don't want to change this single quote, but this apostrophe is disturbing you and you don't want to do the same thing as we have here. So how do you do this? So what you are going to do here is you are going to escape the apostrophe. Okay, you are going to escape it. So how do you escape the apostrophe? You use what? Backspace. you just put backspace. So you are going to escape it. So my father's name is Tamedo, and that is going to work fine. Okay, so just refresh. My father's name is Tamedo. My father's name is Tamedo. Very simple. You can see that. So just play around with all these things. If you have any questions, you can always drop it in the comment section. Okay. We can also have it the other way. Let me just do it like this. Okay. So instead of having this tomato, we can just say let's concatenate. I'll just say concatenate first name. Concatenate first name. And that's it. So I believe this is very, very clear. We can add one more thing to this, and we're going to stop here for the string data type. Okay, so let's say quote. So let's say this is a quote. You can see what we have here. AI is already too fast for us. So let me remove this so that you can see what I'm trying to achieve here. So look at this now. She said hello. She said hello. So we are trying to quote this person that said hello. You can see quotes. Everything is inside the quote. That's the string. While inside the string, inside the quote rather, we now have she said hello. So this is a quote. You are quoting someone. So then she said hello. So this double quote now, how do you resolve this? Because this is throwing up an error. You can see. Let hello, okay? That's an error. So what can you do? You can do the same thing we did for the fourth message. So you come here, you escape it. You come for the second one also, you escape it. Okay? So that's that. And it's code 2. It's something else I want to do. I can use template later here. Template later, code 2. She said hello. So you don't need to escape anything when you're using template later. You can either use single quotes. I can even come here, use double quotes, and there will still be no problem. You see, there will still be no problem because everything is inside template later. That's so we can check that. She said hello. She said hello. So that's that for the string data type. All right. Thank you.